why don't we start things off with a story that's not going away, continuing attacks against Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona regarding a video that him and some other lawmakers put out last week, reminding service members that they are, by law, they are not supposed to follow illegal orders. Now we are learning that the Pentagon says they are investigating Senator Mark Kelly, may recall him to duty so that they can put him in front of a court-martial.
Senator Gallego today on social.
Hey, this is Ruben Gallego. I'm traveling through Arizona right now, and I just received the news that the Department of Defense is starting an investigation against my seatmate, Mark Kelly. This is insane. We should all point out how insane this is. Secretary Hegseth, all these guys, you guys. You're not going to be able to scare us.
Wow.
Okay, so we're joined now by Senator Gallego.
I hope he curses.
We're
like
on a
that.
7-second delay just in case.
I will not curse, I promise.
Thank you, Senator Gallego. But
yeah, sorry.
No.
I've
It's
calmed
all
down
right. You've calmed down. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us.
No, stay mad. Stay mad. Let's hear it.
No, I'm mad. I am mad, but I don't have to swear to
copy that.
Continue.
So,
look, I mean, just to be very clear, this is bad, right? Like,
agreed.
This president is going after a sitting elected official, doesn't matter Democrat or Republican, using his service as a weapon to try to silence him, right? Imagine if Obama had done this to McCain. When McCain was a U.S. senator, these are the things that we should be very mad about, should be very scared about, and we should not allow a president to do this type of weaponization.
Earlier today, Arizona Republicans put something out. They basically said Senator Kelly crossed a line that should never be approached. What do you have to say to the Republicans from the Arizona legislature who said that?
The Arizona legislature?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Those guys are nothing. But the most important thing to understand is that anyone that serves in the military, you take an oath, right? You take an oath to the Constitution of the United States. And in boot camp and in, even on my activations in Iraq, we were consistently told, if you're giving an illegal order, you do not have responsibility to have to go through an illegal order. When we've seen occasions like this happen, for example, the My Lai massacre, where men should have stopped and not listened to the second lieutenant, that would have been something that would have been in honor of that oath and in honor of what we stand for as a country. And the fact that these Democrats and veterans are restating what is already known for somehow is threatening to this president tells you a lot about how he thinks about the military.
Senator Ruben Gallego is joining us. He's reacting to what the Pentagon is looking into regarding Senator Kelly. What illegal orders is Trump giving? In your opinion, is he already giving illegal orders? And if so, what specific illegal orders has he given?
I think for me, the only thing that I disagree with in terms of what I believe are illegal order are the droning of people in Venezuela without actually going through congressional approval. I think everything else, and what people are really worried about is what this may escalate to. And, we have military personnel in our streets in peaceful cities that have been there for quite a while. And now those aren't illegal and it's going through the courts. But what actions may happen after that? Now, again, all these senators and members of Congress were saying is follow the oath that you did. Remember that you have that oath. They didn't say that start, addressing anything right now, but just remember that you still have that right. Now, secondarily, I just want to remind you guys, we have been getting calls, different elected officials from family members, from military personnel that are worried about potential illegal orders. So it's not something that's just coming out of the blue. People have been worried about this. We've been hearing phone calls about this, and we certainly talk about it, in the Senate and the Congress all the time about what may happen if this president goes to the ultimate extreme that he may.
Okay, but Obama authorized an estimated 563 drone strikes. It was Pakistan, Yemen. George W. Bush had strikes reportedly resulting in some deaths of civilians, unfortunately, about 4,000 people. So how is this different?
Yeah, so the drone strikes that were done under President Obama were actually done under a couple of permissible laws that we basically passed to allow them to do that, right? the war against terror, fighting Al Qaeda. So he was always able to point out, like, I am fighting under this permission that you gave me, right?
Was that the AUMF? Was that AUMF? Or?
Yeah, the AUMF.
Okay.
Exactly, yes. And the AUMF, for us nerds, the authorized use of military force. So he was using, now you could disagree whether it was, right to do it, but he did use it under that authority. There is, in my opinion, no authority that this president can cite where he's using war and war powers to go after people. That being, and that's where my position comes in terms of Venezuela.
We're talking to Senator Ruben Gallego right now. Senator Gallego, so obviously you served, once a Marine, always a Marine. You served in combat. I'm trying to understand, let me say from a practical standpoint, what is the process for refusing an illegal order? If you were somewhere, you were deployed, and you were issued an illegal order, I guess it sounds easy for Senator Kelly to say it in a video. It sounds a lot harder for a soldier, a Marine, an airman to do it in the real world.
Yeah, certainly. Like, look, when I was in urban combat, and some very heavy urban combat, and we had to be fighting, insurgents in the middle of cities, if someone had essentially, said to me, I want you to shoot into that crowd, I basically would just refuse to do it. And it doesn't mean that I can just take away myself from the situation, but I would have to understand that I'd have to defend my actions later if the military decided to press against it. It's not an easy decision. Serving the military, it's not an easy decision. This is why it's important that they understand that there is still civilian leadership behind your right to refuse illegal orders. And so, none of this is easy. None of this is ever easy. That's some of the hardest things you have to do, I think, as a military official, to make these decisions. But a lot of it is more along the lines of being able to follow your gut and understanding that if you do things for the right reason, that there's going to be the civilian world that's going to back you up on this.
You mentioned, and I do want to clarify that not just, I don't know if you were speaking specifically about yourself, but other members of Congress are hearing from servicemen and women active duty that are concerned about some of these orders that are being given? About
orders that may be given. They want to know what their options are in case they feel that something could happen where they're potentially given an illegal order, or they feel something is illegal. So that's more along the lines of, these are people that are looking towards potential election interference, things of that nature. So that's what they're bringing up. They're not necessarily bringing up what's happening in Venezuela. That is my own opinion on Venezuela.
Senator Ruben Gallego is joining us on KTAR. Bruce and I talked about this last week. I didn't like how Trump reacted. I mean, you're retweeting, hang these people. That being said, I mean, we can also acknowledge that, the Democrats who were in this video, part of it was, okay, we'll warn the military. The other part was to tweak Trump, right? We can acknowledge that.
I mean, I'm not sure that was the point of that. From my understanding, and I did talk to my colleagues about this, and the only reason I'm not part of that video is because I was too dang busy to actually do it. It was to remind our military personnel that they have rights. And those rights include, the ability to ignore, not ignore, but not follow through on illegal orders. Let's be clear what actually is happening here, guys. This all stemmed and started rising up as Donald Trump was losing the Epstein vote, as the economy was reported being slipping further and further into not a great position, as his healthcare plans keep falling apart. This is all part of one big distraction, and hey, it's working. But at the end of the day, it's again this president using the military as a tool when he needs to distract Arizonans from the problems that he is creating right now.
Senator, were you asked to be in the video?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, and you didn't have the time to do it? Is that why you didn't do it?
It was, yeah, by the time I got to it, it was just like I just couldn't get in front of a camera to do it. And so everyone, there's trying to describe some grand, theory of that I was smart enough to avoid it. That's not the case. I literally just, I have 3 kids and I got, running around half the time. And I don't have necessarily time to do everything.
We're talking to Senator Ruben Gallego. Do you think that it would have been more helpful? Because me, having not served, I'm watching this video. But it wasn't clear to me what specifically they were talking about. We thought maybe this has to do with extrajudicial killings in the Caribbean and Pacific, or does this have to do with military on the streets of our cities? Like, it wasn't clear to me.
Vague.
Yeah. What were they talking about? Is it clear to you?
Yeah, maybe because I'm on the inside. What they're being clear is that they're trying to basically talk to the sentiment, what they're hearing, as I told you guys, from phone calls and from family members of people in the military, that, should you feel that there is an illegal order that is given to you, you don't have to follow through on it. That is essentially, there was no specific pointing to, but the reason we are here and the reason we're even having this conversation, besides the fact that Donald Trump's trying to distract from the Epstein files, is the fact that military personnel are worried because of what they're seeing in Venezuela, what they're seeing in the streets of L.A. and Chicago. I mean, we just had, I think it was a 3-star general of Southern Command, who was a rising star, just resign instead of deciding to continue to serve. So there is definitely concern that's out there. I think they were just responding to their concern.
If you could meet with Trump about this, what would you say to him?
Well, number one, I would say, again, this is not the way to distract from the Epstein files. Number two, the history of this country is not to politicize the military. The history of this country is to allow the military to, protect the Constitution of the United States. As commander-in-chief, you have a great honor to continue that. And doing this does not help that. Number three, you are a branch of the government. You do not have a right to intimidate, Congress, Senate, and the House of Representatives because you dislike what they're doing. And weaponizing the government to do that against the other branch is a serious breach of the separation of powers. And, this is the kind of things that really deteriorates the country.
Appreciate your time today, Senator Gallego. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You as well.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.